Good morning. Well, it is morning here in Italy. My name is Alison Reiner. Welcome to my page. I'm your loved again and forever coach. One of the phrases that I hear most often from clients or potential clients is, "I don't know that I love my husband anymore. I don't know that I want to stay married anymore." And they sound very simple statements, and it sounds as if you know, with a little bit of thought, you can come up with a yes or no answer to either of those questions, but it isn't that simple. It's what we spend so long trying to figure out the right answer to that question. And the right answer quite often is taking a step back, taking a step to the side and looking at it from a different perspective, because the where you are at the moment has been, or is based on a long thinking process and behavioural process. Where you are at the moment is based on every decision, every action, every interaction that you've had with your partner, with your husband, with your wife. So where you are at the moment has been created with one set of thought processes, and in order to change that, we need to change the thought process, change the perspective slightly. And that's something that we're not taught how to do. It's something that we're not taught how to manage our relationships particularly well. We manage them in terms of what we've seen around about us, how our parents manage theirs, how friends, family, peers manage theirs, but never from the perspective of what's best for us. So we go into marriage with a very fixed idea, even if you believe you don't, very fixed idea on what marriage is like. All you have to do is go back and look at any of those, those silly programs that you see about, asking kids about their idea of love or marriage or, working or whatever. Already there, they have a very fixed idea. And it's actually the same one that we take forward with us, unless something comes between that thought and where we are now, which quite often doesn't. We find that we still think of marriage as, whatever, hard, easy, something to be done, something to be put up with, something just to take off, something that is loving to start with, but it gets less loving as time goes on. We all have those stories that we believe about marriage and about relationships. And then what happens is we reach that point. It's not that through the course of your relationship there are times where it seems very difficult, doesn't it? You begin to wonder, is this going to work? This is really difficult. What am I doing wrong? And you try to change things, and then it falls back into place. And then suddenly, you may reach a point where you're in that place again. You're worried about how the relationship is. You're worried about how you're talking to each other, and you try all the same things that have worked before, and it doesn't work. And you begin to think, well, maybe my marriage is over. Maybe this relationship doesn't have any longevity. Maybe this is as far as it goes. Hi, Dominique. And that completely threw me off. I thought I was talking to myself. And when you're questioning that, it's not that happens overnight, and you're in that. It completely threw me off now. I need to go back to the beginning and think what I came on to say. Where was I? Yeah. So all those questions that you ask yourself, and then 1 minute you think you've got the answer, and you go down one path. 1 minute you're convinced that you can save it, and you go for the romantic and the holidays and the this and the that and whatever, and the next moment you're thinking there's absolutely no future to it, so you go down the other path and you start looking for ways out. But that really what you're doing is you're just going round in circles. You're just going round in circles, and it's exhausting. And that's the thing that, well, I know from my own experience, but also not talking to clients, by the time they get to me, they are just exhausted mentally and physically, because they've spent so long trying to no, it's all right. They spend so long trying to answer this question and trying to really force their will, and then really well, how I was brought up anyway, and how, you know, a lot of people were brought up is, you know, if we can change the situation, you know, we're always told we can't change other people, but we damn well try hard at it, don't we? You know, and normally it's in the very subtle ways. It's not, you know, it's not by forcing them into trying, but it's the way that we communicate. You know, it's the how that we communicate. So, you know, one of the things that I always teach, well, I always teach anyone that needs to know it about my clients, is how to communicate healthily. So how to communicate from that place, you know what your intention is, being completely honest with yourself about what it is that you're trying to achieve from the conversation. You know, because if we're completely honest, what we think, what the first thought is, and what the reality is are two completely different things. So, you know, often what we're really doing is we're being needy. We're really trying to get something. I need you to understand me. I need you to agree with me. I need you to change your behaviour, or to do something, or to stop doing something else. I need that from you. But we do it in such a way as, yeah, and it sounds, when we're talking, sounds to ourselves when we're talking, we're actually trying to do it from a place of, you know, a light conversation, or a way of connecting. But if you're really honest with yourself, it's actually because you want something back. And it's that place, you know, one of the things that catches so many people up is trying to work out exactly what to say. And I say all the time to my clients, you don't need to worry about the words you use if you're absolutely sure what the intention is. And if the intention is, yes, I need something from you, then if you're honest about it, I say, look, you know, we need to have this conversation, because it's really important to me that you understand what I'm saying. That's fine. At least there's honesty there. Because when there's not, what happens is there's that tendency to pull back, that tendency to withdraw from you. And, you know, we've all seen it, where, you know, you find that your partner's completely defensive. You don't know why. Because the words that you're using are supposed to make him feel, you know, to massage his ego, or to make him feel loved, or whatever. The words don't matter, but the intention does. And the intention takes a lot of soul searching and a bit of self honesty. And then everything can change. So why am I talking to you today? Because I am running the second round of the Loved Again and Forever bootcamp, which is really about getting clear on that, answering that question, do I want to stay married? Answering all those questions about your marriage, do I still love my husband or not? And, you know, and how to actually, you know, question yourself around that, so you get to that 100% conviction. Yes, I do, and therefore I'm going to work. Or yes, I do, but the relationship has run its course, so I would like to leave. So that you can start 2018 with a clear slate. You can start 2018 really with a good, you know, action plan to either build the resilience that you're going to need, the emotional strength that you're going to need to go through the process of separation, or to really learn the tools that are going to help you reconnect with your partner, the communication tools, the letting go of expectations, the really getting deep inside yourself and understanding what it is in you that's keeping that distance. Because it's not, you know, all that judgment that we have about our partners, our husbands, our wives, has got nothing to do with them. That's just a reflection, that's just a mirror out there of how we're feeling about ourselves. It's so much easier to judge ourselves through someone else's eyes, so we project it outwards. So, you know, that we're going to look at, you know, the stories you tell yourself about marriage, relationships, your relationship, and really get clear on how you can rewrite that to make it work for you in your life and in your marriage, and then really get clear on some good tools on how to learn to communicate better. And then, of course, you know, we go into that reconnection. How are we actually going to go about reconnecting? How are we going to, you know, what am I going to have to do to change the dynamic in the relationship? We'll look at that. And finally, of course, you know, intimacy is always a big thing. It's something that we either use to keep connection going in times of struggle, or it's something that we just withdraw from. So how are we going to reintegrate that in a healthier, more loving way? And finally, at the very end of it, you'll have me to get really clear on your action plan, because by the time we have our one-to-one call, you will know exactly what you want to do. You'll be 100% sure what you want to do. And I'm not saying that because, it's because I would like it to be the case. I'm saying it because that's what I've seen in the past. That's what I see with my clients. It doesn't take that long to get that clarity. And once that clarity is in place, it's easy to move forward. So if you get any questions on it, watching this on replay, if you get any questions, I would love to answer them. If you know anybody that would benefit from joining me on the boot camp, or would benefit from working one-to-one or talking one-to-one, or just getting some sort of clarity around your marriage, point them in my direction. I'm always happy to talk to people. Have a lovely Saturday, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.